Alrighty, it's the Friday of Labor Day weekend, September 4th, 2020. Macomb Mayor Mike Inman coming to you from Macomb City Hall with, I'll say, the latest information as of an hour or so ago regarding the COVID-19 pandemic here in Macomb and McDonough County. And I say that because the last several days have been very fluid in the fact that we're seeing a rapid increase in positive cases in Macomb and McDonough County. As a matter of fact, in the last 10 days, we've seen nearly 100 cases of COVID-19 confirmed cases in Macomb and McDonough County. So I have actually a text here I'm going to read with you. We all suspected that the return of students to campus, along with increased testing, as well as general inconsistent compliance with the CD guidelines in the general community population, would result in the increase in COVID-19 cases here in Macomb. So some of this is not really a surprise. As of this morning, the McDonough County Health Department is reporting a total of 278 cases since the onset of the pandemic. 99 of those are current active cases in the county, and nearly 75% of which are related to Western Illinois University, and that's just keeping things in perspective, not calling anything out necessarily. This is the highest number of active cases that have been dealt with at one time since the onset of the pandemic. The majority of those WOU cases are isolated at a residence hall on campus that the university has planned for, and we appreciate that planning. And the fact that the positive case patients are presenting with a mix of asymptomatic as well as symptomatic conditions such as sore throat, fever, aches, loss of sense of smell and taste, etc. McDonough District Hospital reported as early as yesterday morning of having no COVID-19 patients inpatient at the hospital. That number changed yesterday afternoon to 2. And through contact tracing efforts with the McDonough County Health Department, it was determined that 11 cases recently have been tracked back to exposure at 2 bars here in Macomb. We have seen a total of nearly 100 new cases in the last 10 days. 75% of all those cases are coming from Macomb, within the county anyway, and 50% of all the cases reported during the pandemic can fit into the category of ages between 10 and 29. Our current local positivity rating has been fluctuating between 3.5% to 5%, and that is growing, but the current positivity rating for the region, which is the Illinois Department of Public Health region, is approaching 8%, and that 8% number is critical when it comes to additional mitigation that the state is likely to impose on us. At a meeting this past Tuesday morning with several stakeholders in the community, we were briefed on a consultant's report that was modeling projections for COVID-19 statistics through September 19th. Just for our community, and I have to be honest with you, they were concerning. The modeling included an overall increase in positive cases reported, and just so you know, they were predicting by September 12th, we would have about 245 cases, and by September 19th, we'd have 285. Well, we're at 278 today. So that projection is going to be exceeded. One of the more concerning points, though, was that they're predicting a significant increase in hospital admissions, and particularly admissions to the intensive care unit. Again, these were predictions based on current trends and taking into account activities likely to lead to greater exposure risks over this weekend, Labor Day weekend, the last holiday weekend of the summer. Also in the last 10 days, Illinois University host communities, including Urbana-Champaign, Normal, and others, have adopted a variety of emergency orders to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19 in those communities. These orders have attempted to mitigate the spread by allowing bars and restaurants to remain open to indoor serving, but with a more restrictive approach to serving and seating, particularly serving alcohol, as well as emergency orders limiting the size of gatherings, house parties, and housing units around and in the campus area of those communities. In addition, several counties in southern Illinois have had additional restrictions placed on them by Governor Pritzker to help mitigate the COVID-19 spread in those counties, and particularly the Metro East area of St. Louis. And the governor of the state of Iowa, for example, went so far as to close all bars in 6 Iowa counties that host that are host to their state universities. Now it's always been our hope here in Macomb to do our best job of mitigating the spread of COVID-19 by encouraging compliance with IDPH and CDC guidelines, encouraging overall responsible behaviors, and gaining compliance without the need for additional local orders. However, our primary concern has always been our community health. I'm also aware of the effect that the pandemic has had and continues to have on our entire business community. I also realize that our students come here not only to get a great education, but they want and need social interaction. That interaction should be in as safe an environment as possible, and I think that occurs in a controlled environment, such as a licensed, well-run business establishment. Large house parties, on the other hand, lend themselves to unsafe environments where there are no controls over who drinks or how much they drink, where fights and the possibility of sexual assaults are more probable. That is not the environment we want our students in. So, in response to the rapidly rising number of COVID-19 cases in Macomb, McDonough County, in an attempt to mitigate the further spread of COVID-19, and in consultation with the McDonough County Health Department, the administration at Western Illinois University, the McDonough District Hospital, and McDonough County ESDA, Emergency Services and Disaster Agency, I've issued a couple of orders that will take effect at 5 p.m. this evening and last for 21 days until the 25th of September. The first order affects bars and restaurants here in Macomb, and the order includes the utilization of social distancing, the mandating of social distancing criteria, face masks, 6 feet between tables, and that only seated patrons will be allowed to consume alcohol in those establishments. So if you're going to a restaurant now, that's not a problem. If you're going to one of the local boutique establishments we have, for example, the wine cellars, shouldn't be a problem. That's what they practice. But you'll need to be a seated patron in order to consume alcohol in those businesses. Our larger venues, that will mean that they will have to restrict the sale of alcohol to patrons that they're allowed to have seated in socially distanced settings. So that's up to 10 unrelated people at a table spread 6 feet apart within those establishments. So there'll be no standing, no congregating, nothing like that. Again, and face masks will be mandated in those, as well as the social distancing that we mentioned. The other order takes a geographic area near the university, traditional student housing, and limits the number of people that can gather in those areas to 12, including the host for the gathering. And those orders are available on the city's website, and they'll be in effect for the next 21 days. Again, trying to do our best to mitigate the spread that is kind of exponentially taking place here. That's not only here, but across the balance of the state, and we don't want to have to submit to further mitigation orders. We'd like to keep our bars and restaurants open and functioning and doing what they do best. But this is an attempt to gain a little more control over the spread of this virus. And we're counting our business owners and those folks, those students that live out in the campus area to abide by the orders, and so we can do our best to mitigate things. This weekend is going to be a beautiful weekend, absolutely. We would encourage you to get out within your COVID bubble, so to speak, those folks that are normal members of your household or that you have constant interaction with, and enjoy some time together. Get out and try to avoid this, I'll say, pandemic fatigue that so many of us are experiencing. It will be a beautiful weekend. It's a beautiful day today. The weather forecast is good through the entire weekend. The flags of love go up on Monday morning at 7 o'clock at Chandler Park. Please come down and help us put those up. There'll be social distancing utilized there. There'll be hand sanitizer. We'd ask that you come with masks on, and we'll have an opportunity to celebrate the flags of love in our historic downtown. Again, in those circumstances where you're out and about, you should be employing all those social distancing criteria. If you believe you've been exposed to COVID-19, the testing station at McDonough District Hospital is open this weekend. That information is currently at the bottom of your screen now. There has been a steady increase in testing activity at MDH. Testing continues at Western Illinois University, both for students and faculty at the campus. And again, we anticipated some of this rise, but we're also seeing behaviors that, like we said, that prompted these orders to take. We just felt like we needed to take those in order to do our best to contain the spread as best as possible. So from now, that'll do it. We hope you have a great Labor Day weekend until we have an opportunity to meet again. Thank you.